So, what happens when a major streaming platform like Netflix actually has to censor a live sports broadcast?
Right, because a storyline about a stolen boyfriend goes just a little too far.
Exactly. I mean,
Uh-huh.
what you get is the most profitable era of modern professional wrestling.
You really do.
Welcome to the deep dive, everyone. Today, we are looking at a landscape where the real main event isn't, the athletic victory or the championship belt.
No, not at all. The main event right now is the serialized high-stakes melodrama.
Yeah, the soap opera of it all.
Completely. The modern wrestling industry has realized that while physical dominance is impressive, the real engine of audience engagement is just relationship drama.
It's what gets people talking.
Exactly. I mean, the metrics show fans might tune in for a spectacular suplex, but they subscribe and buy merch because they are heavily invested in the chaos playing out between the matches.
And we have a fascinating stack of sources today to really unpack that chaos.
We do. We've got reports from Fightful, Sportskeeda, Wrestling Inc., and some deep financial breakdowns from the Times of India.
So, our mission for this deep dive is to look at a battle for the ages between, well, the ultimate modern pop culture power couples in WWE.
It's a clash of titans, really.
It is! We are breaking down the reigning king and queen of chaos, Dominik Mysterio and Liv Morgan, against the sudden, shocking challengers, Austin Theory and Maxxine Dupri.
And we want to give you, the listener, a complete objective breakdown of how these rival romances were built.
Right, how they stack up in cold, hard numbers, and honestly, the fascinating real-life boundaries that make this level of intense storytelling even possible.
Because even if you aren't a diehard wrestling fan, this is a masterclass in how serialized storytelling and viral moments blend to create actual megastars.
Yeah, megastars that transcend the whole wrestling bubble. So let's start by looking at the incumbents, Liv Morgan and Dirty Dom.
The gold standard right now.
Right, because to judge the challengers, we first need to understand the reigning empire. And this Liv and Dom pairing didn't just happen overnight.
Oh no, not at all. It's a masterclass in the slow burn narrative.
But the architecture of this story actually relies on a third party, right?
Yes, Rhea Ripley. You simply cannot talk about the rise of Liv and Dom without understanding the roots planted by Rhea.
The whole Latino heat mammy dynamic.
Exactly. For 2 years prior, Dominik was tied to Rhea in this massively successful dynamic. It was the emotional anchor of the whole show.
But then the inciting incident happens. Liv Morgan legitimately injures Rhea.
Right, which forced Rhea to vacate her Women's World Championship and just leave television entirely for a while.
Which created this massive power vacuum.
It did. Both in the storyline and in the real-world TV time that needed to be filled, WWE essentially had Liv embark on a psychological revenge tour.
Just systematically taking everything Rhea had left behind.
Yeah, and the slow burn progression was brilliantly executed because Dominik publicly opposed Liv at every single turn.
Oh, yeah, he swore to the audience he would never, ever let her win that title.
But then we get to the King and Queen of the Ring event. Dominik gets involved in Liv's match and inadvertently helps her win.
With heavy air quotes on inadvertently.
Exactly. And then weeks later, on Raw, he does it again. The audience watches this pattern and realizes the incompetence is actually a calculated seduction.
But hold on, let me push back here for a second.
Sure.
We are giving Liv and Dom all this credit, but aren't we kind of ignoring the ghost of Rhea Ripley hovering over them?
What do you mean?
Well, is the success of Liv and Dom completely reliant on the audience just waiting for Rhea to return and destroy them? Like, are they generating their own heat or just borrowing hers?
That is the central tension of the story, for sure. But the evidence suggests they really have transcended just keeping Rhea's seat warm.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. They've embraced the sheer messiness of the romance to the point where it operates independently. Just look at the viral moments they manufacture.
Oh, the kiss.
Yes, Liv planting a massive kiss on a totally bewildered Dom, and then she rents a production truck.
I forgot about the truck.
Right. She plasters a photo of herself, kissing his photo on the side of this massive truck with the caption, "I kissed a boy and I liked it."
And Dom's response was just so funny. He just posted, "Really?" with that unimpressed emoji.
Exactly. And recently, Liv celebrated their 2-year anniversary, calling him Daddy Dom, and proudly stated the story isn't even about the championship belt.
It's about the romance, the messiness, the love triangle.
Yeah, the sheer absurdity of it all. I mean, Dom recently lost a human money's on a pole match to Danhausen.
Which is just the most ridiculous sentence I've ever heard.
Right, but it doesn't even dent his aura because the romance angle is just so strong. You even have Jordan Grace over in TNA suggesting a custody of Dominik ladder match.
When a storyline bleeds into rival promotions, you know it's working. It's like a high-stakes telenovela or reality TV show. We just thrive on the trashy messiness of it all.
Completely. Which brings us to the challengers, because building off that idea of long-term messiness, how does a newer couple attempt to capture that same magic?
Right, because you can't just run another 2-year slow burn and expect the audience to care. So enter Maxxine Dupri and Austin Theory.
And their approach is totally different. Where Liv and Dom are the slow burn, Maxine and Theory are using sudden, shock value heel turns.
Tell me about Maxine's turn, because this was wild.
So on July 6, 2026, Maxine just violently betrayed her own faction, Alpha Academy.
After being the ultimate good guy for like, what, 3 years?
Exactly. 3 years as a babyface.
Hmm.
She even had a brief 49-day run as the Women's Intercontinental Champion. But she's clearly dealing with pent-up frustration.
She felt like playing by the rules was getting her nowhere.
Right, so she feuds with Otis and Akira Tozawa, her former mentors, and then interferes in a huge match.
She hits Angelo Dawkins with a low blow, right?
Yeah, which directly allows Austin Theory and Braun Breaker to win the World Tag Team Championship. And she seals the deal with a massive kiss with Theory.
Just totally stealing the Liv and Dom playbook, but compressing it into one night.
Precisely. And now they are part of this faction called The Vision, which was created by Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman.
But that group is dealing with so many injuries right now.
It's basically in triage. Logan Paul is out with a triceps injury. Bronson Reed is hurt.
So Theory and Breaker are basically holding the whole group down.
Exactly. Maxine stepping in gives Theory this crucial new layer of character development right when he's forced into a top spot.
But here's my question for you and for the listener. Almost instantly, fans started calling them the Temu version of Liv and Dom.
Yeah.
A cheap knockoff.
Right. And Maxine actually responded to this. She did this fiery interview where she dismissed the haters, saying she had to Google what Temu was because she's rich.
A classic heel line.
Totally. But then she argued that Theory is a beautiful man who actually showers and gets haircuts, unlike Dirty Dom.
Right. Attacking his hygiene.
So by explicitly comparing their grooming habits and bringing up the Temu allegations, does she actually elevate her pairing with Theory? Or does she accidentally validate the idea that they're just a knockoff?
It's a really interesting point. I mean, on a psychological level, by fighting on their turf, she inadvertently admits that Liv and Dom are the benchmark. Yeah, she's not saying we have a better story. She's just saying my boyfriend smells better.
Exactly. It's superficial. But that naturally transitions us to the objective metrics, because storylines and insults are highly subjective, you know?
But the business side of entertainment is cold, hard numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need to see which couple actually dominates the bottom line. So when we pull the financial and social media data from 2026, the gap is pretty staggering.
Let's hear it. How big is the gap?
Well, Liv and Dom are runaway leaders. Liv boasts about 5.2 million followers. That's 3.5 million on Instagram and 1.75 million on X.
Wow, so a massive digital footprint.
Massive. She commands an estimated net worth of $3 to $4 million, a $600,000 base salary, and she's pulling in major endorsements.
Oh, right. Our sources mentioned C4 Energy, Tox, and Snapchat.
Yeah. And Dom is pulling his weight, too. He has 1.8 million followers and a net worth of $2 to $3 million.
Okay, so they are a highly monetized unit. What about the challengers?
Theory and Maxine lag behind significantly. Theory has roughly 937,000 followers total.
Not even 1 million yet.
Right. He makes about $300,000 to $400,000 in base salary with a $2 to $5 million net worth.
And Maxine.
Maxine has around 796,000 followers, a $1 to $1.5 million net worth, and she supplements her income with her clothing venture, Shop Jaunty.
So if we use a TV analogy, Liv and Dom are like a massive hit show in its 3rd season.
Totally.
While Maxine and Theory are just a pilot episode trying to get picked up. But let me push back again. Isn't it completely unfair to compare these metrics?
Why unfair?
Well, Liv and Dom have a 2-year established storyline. Maxine and Theory just became officially romantically linked in July 2026.
That's true.
So you can't expect the new couple to have the same metrics in month 1, right?
It is definitely an asymmetrical comparison in terms of time. Maxine and Theory are injecting fresh venom into the tag team romance formula, which is great.
It just takes time to compound.
It does. But the mainstream reach of Liv and Dom right now is just on a completely different tier. Just look at the Becky Lynch incident.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Now,
A Netflix edit?
exactly. Rival Becky Lynch returned to Raw and delivered a promo where she made a really personal joke about Liv sleeping with Dom.
And the line was deemed so culturally explosive that Netflix actually edited it out of the broadcast replay. Think about that. When a multi-billion-dollar platform has to step in and censor your storyline because the heat is too intense, that is mainstream relevance.
It's the absolute apex of the industry right now.
Which brings us to the most fascinating part of our deep dive, the reality check.
Breaking kayfabe.
Right, because having established this massive fame and toxic on-screen drama, we have to look at how these performers actually separate the fiction from their real everyday lives.
It's incredible how they balance it, and the prime example from our sources is Dominik Mysterio.
The guy playing the most chaotic, slimy boyfriend on television.
Right, but off-screen. His reality couldn't be further from Dirty Dom. She has been with his childhood sweetheart, Marie, since he was 14 years old.
Wait, since 2011?
Since 2011. They got engaged in 2023 and married in an outdoor ceremony in 2024.
That is so wild. I mean, compare pro wrestlers to method actors. Imagine being that toxic on screen and then having to commute home in traffic to your middle school sweetheart.
It requires immense communication. Our sources explain that Dom balances the relationship by constantly keeping Marie in the loop. He literally calls her to give her a heads up before intense TV segments happen.
So she's never blindsided by him suddenly making out with a coworker on global television?
Exactly. And there's this hilarious anecdote about the night Dom kissed Liv on TV.
Oh, please share this.
So the internet is having an absolute meltdown over this kiss, right? The wrestling world is unglued. And Marie didn't even mention the kiss to him.
What did she say?
She casually texted him about finding a tarantula in their garage.
No way, a tarantula.
Yep. Just completely unfazed by the global trending topic. She's just like, hey, there's a huge spider at home.
That is amazing. Talk about a grounding mechanism. It actually makes you wonder, as a listener does, knowing how healthy and communicative his real-life marriage is, actually make you appreciate his performance as this slimy on-screen boyfriend even more.
It definitely highlights the acting chops involved. Dom actually talked about his perspective on the job recently.
Yeah, what did he say?
He pointed out that Marie is a quiet bookworm who works from home, and they treat his job like movies. He said, and I quote, "Did Frodo actually take the ring to Mordor? That's just not real either."
That's a great way to look at it.
He says he drops the Dirty Dom persona at the door. He literally said, I come home and I'm Dominik.
That's so healthy. So just to briefly recap the core themes for everyone listening today, Liv and Dom currently hold the crown, right?
Without a doubt.
Because they have that multi-year narrative investment, the massive social metrics, and the mainstream crossover.
But Maxxine and Theory are definitely injecting fresh, real-world venom into that tag team romance formula. They're making moves.
For sure. But the real magic trick of it all is how grounded these performers are when the cameras actually stop rolling.
Absolutely. And I want to leave you, the listener, with a final thought to ponder that builds on that exact discussion.
Lay it on us.
If wrestling couples are just actors playing roles, how much does the presence of their real-life partners dictate their on-screen success?
Oh, that's an interesting angle.
Think about it. If Marie, this quiet bookworm wife, ever made an actual on-screen cameo, would it just shatter the carefully constructed illusion of Dirty Dom entirely?
Oh, man, just break kayfabe completely.
Or, and this is the wild part, would it create the ultimate unbreakable meta storyline?
That would just break the internet. Honestly, it's fascinating to think about how the boundaries of reality and fiction are basically what fuel this entire industry.
It really is.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the chaotic world of modern wrestling romances. Keep bringing us your next stack of sources to explore, and we will see you next time.